welcome to our special Saturday Sports Personality Show on Atlantic Television Network. Our spotlight today is on no other than the legendary Thiago Motta, a maestro on the pitch, a strategic genius, and an inspiration to millions around the world. From his stunning performances in Europe to his transition into a tactical mastermind as a coach, Thiago Motta has left an indelible mark on the world of football. Over the next 1 hour, we will delve into the incredible journey of Thiago Motta. We'll revisit his early days in football, his unforgettable moments with clubs like Barcelona, Inter Milan, and his evolution from a player to a respected coach. All this will be yours in the next couple of minutes. Ekpo Temple is my name. We're going to quick break. When we come back, I'll introduce the guest, and then we'll start to converse here on Atlantic Television Network.
Telling him not to counterpunch. Telling him not to counterpunch.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what they blood.
I have fought very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable
You understand.
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
working on them now.
Ma, the prices you could tell are way too high now.
Madam, sorry, please don't cost.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello?
Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you. I will call you back.
Behavior no good now.
Madam, now this kind behavior they kill our country. You supposed to do things differently, make Nigeria for better.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Akin Fade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't gam me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say, nothing. Okay, now, I will go block later. You remember that contract we will do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old things. We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap him.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy why they pay for club. Where me and boys they shark beer in our house, I could pay that one. You remember say me and tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy now.
Okay, ne. They pay you money now. We don't they beg caretaker, we they beg landlord, old man, and they agree give us time. Money can't come now. You won't divert time. You said na corruption. Corruption. Not in my house and not in my country.
Sure?
Sure.
Corruption not in my country. This message is brought to you by the Akin Fade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
What you want to buy?
Potato. Small basket.
I want plantain. But why your plantain can't hard like this?
Madam, now the outside hard. Inside there, it is very soft.
Madam, wallahi make her no buy them. Make her show you something. What? What in this one? Madam, this one now the chemical what they put on for the plantain make her ripe up.
So you put chemical for plantain where people chop.
No.
Alright, welcome back from that break. If you're just joining us, a sports personality here on Atlantic Television Network. And joining me live this morning from the Zoom platform is Ipalebo Kinsley. Ipalebo is a sports pundit, and he will be part of the conversation to look at this man that we'll preview this morning, Thiago Motta. Ipalebo, good morning and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good morning, It's a pleasure to be here again.
We hope that 18 Francis will also join us as time progresses. Let's also converse here and let's talk about this great, Italian footballer and manager. Basically, these are some of the interesting things that we'll have to look at. But first off, let's take a look at his background. A philosopher once said that that the milieu where a person comes from shapes his career and shapes everything about him, and no doubt, and it's not also different from what Thiago Motta, a man that was born in São Bernardo do Campo in São Paulo in Brazil, and look at his the fact that he's an Italian from his Italian descent. He grew up and then he had a lot, in his days he had he graduated from Juventus junior team down to becoming one of their excellent star, making his debut on 3rd October against Real Mallorca, and then from there he moved on to the dream of becoming a full-fledged footballer. We saw what he did with Barca in 2021-2022 season in the UEFA Champions League. From there he moved on and on and on. And so if you look at Thiago Motta, his background, his trajectories, what does that tell you? How far has that built him as a man that he is today, Epalebo? Epalebo, can you hear me? Okay, I think Francis joins us now. Team Francis, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. Yeah, I was actually talking about. I'm sure, but first of all, I'm sure that Calabar, the city of Calabar, is shining brightly this morning.
Yes, we thank God. We're doing well. Calabar is good. Thank you for.
Okay. All right, let's go straight. You, of course, you are a Serie A expert. So when we talk about Italian football, you should be a maestro, in its all sense of, discussion. But first off, you look at the man Thiago Motta, a man who has 2 nationalities, Brazil and Italy. And of course, I was talking that there is no way that, the life a man lives is shaped by his milieu, his background, his social, political, socio-economic, and social environment. And so all this put together, should make a man better. If you have looked, if you've seen the way Thiago rise to prominence, what do you think about his background, dual nationality, and how does that, shape his character, his ethics, and who he has become today?
Yes, because we all know that one background has dramatic effect, like it's just on one's development, not in his career. And that no doubt to be no different for the man Motta. We obviously know that he has dual nationality, Brazilian and Italian origin, or Brazilian origin, but later he just said completely that during his career. And that obviously can have an effect on his career, and like he does have, in terms of style of ball we see him execute on the pitch as a manager. Of course, you explained this English when properly to him for injury for injury because of that. Playing was not good to see. Obviously, not something you wish for any professional athlete. But at the same time, you could see what an excellent footballer he was. Wherever he was, he did. He was not really able to show that on a more consistent basis for both his club and for the national team. But for the overall effect that his nationality, basically the Brazilian Italian nationalities will have on his career as a coach, I think something we'll be finding out in the years to come.
Now, I don't know if Palebo has joined us now, but certainly, you just talked about his nationality, and Palebo, you heard from Francis, who mentioned, how his background has shaped him. From your study or from your followership of theater, what would you add to how his background and his milieu has really, groomed him to who he is today?
You look at Thiago Motta and look at where he's coming from, even from club where he played for Barcelona, he has been a player that has suffered a lot of injury, which affected his playing time for Brazil. He was one of those players that was picked for the qualifying stages of the Olympics and the CONMEBOL, but due to incident injuries, right from his playing days, right from when he was a youth, he has been suffering a lot of injuries, and that affected him not joining that team. And ever since then, he was not given the opportunity, to get with that Brazilian squad, and he was so frustrated that he had to go to the Italian side and was just picked by President to be in his side. So you look at Thiago Motta as someone who has struggled, during his playing days with a lot of injury, and that affected him playing for his national team. You look at both sides of the divide. He was not really loved by the Brazilians, and also he wasn't really loved by the Italians due to what his playing days, in Inter Milan, leaving the way he left Inter Milan, and a lot of Brazilians were not happy about that. So you look at him, he has a lot of situations that have shaped his choices of the nationality he chose.
And I mean, one thing very striking is what could have influenced him, to making that choice. Etim, now I'm coming to you, making a choice of switching allegiance from Italy, from Brazil to Italy, when he had opportunity of, from the time that he started. Maybe he would have achieved more, with the Brazilian side. Etim, what would have prompted him, to swap that nationality? Do you think he would have been a better player with the Italian national team? Of course he is. Maybe look at his stride so far. But do you think he would have been a better player with the Brazilian national team as compared to the Italian national team?
Well, I think rightly said that he struggled with a lot of injuries in his early days. And after the first opportunity to play for the Brazilian national team passed, the opportunity to the chances of getting another opportunity was due to his injury record. And so, no doubt, since he had spent, most of his life in Italy, he basically grew up in his early days right in Italy, even his early days of his career. Definitely, the Italians would have offered him a choice to come play for the team, and he would have put all of that into consideration that if he decided to stick with the Brazilian team, then the opportunity that he would have looked for would likely not have come. Don't forget that during that time, in the early 2000s, which was when he actually started out in his career, the Brazilian national team was filled with so much quality, particularly in the midfield. I mean, basically one of their golden generations, with the Ronaldo, Ronaldo, and all of that. We know that team was able to win, the World Cup in 2002, and of course appeared in, I think, the quarterfinals in 2006. So it was a point in Brazil national team football where they were stacked with so much quality, so much talent. And it's a report that put all of this in respect that the chances of breaking into the Brazilian national at that point, particularly with his injury record, would have quite slim. And so he decided to go for the safest option, which was the Italian national team, and being a country that spent so much time in, particularly in the early days of his career. And, we never can tell if he would have been a better player for Brazil. But with his injury record again, which we have now begun, or which we have seen, it would have been difficult for him to get as much playing time for the Brazilian national team as he did for the Italian national team. I think at the end of the day, the Motta himself can sit and say probably he made the right decision to play for the Italian national team, because he made about 60 appearances for the team, and whenever injury left him, he did put up a good performance for the Italian national team, and I think at the end of the day, he can be proud of the decision he made as regards the of nationality. I think, on the field.
Beautiful one. And let's move now to the issue of his club side, his dream clubs. We talked about Barca earlier, between 2001 to 2006, you know, he stayed with Barcelona before he moved to Atletico Madrid. In fact, basically, after winning the UEFA Champions League against Arsenal, you remember that particular one, he was part of that squad that won that UEFA Champions League. We saw his role he played. In fact, Thiago Motta was one of those midfielders that were very dogged in his style of play. But let's take a look at his playing career between 2001 and 2006, before he moved to 2007 August, you know, to Atletico Madrid. The level of the team he played with, will you say Thiago Motta was one of the invincibles in the Barca team as at that time? Because we have the like of Xavi, Messi, Eto'o, Ronaldinho, and all that. What will you make of his, the caliber of players he played with at that time? Do you think that was the peak of the Barca era? Eti, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, okay. I didn't know the question was for me, but okay, I can hear you loud and clear. So I think his time at Barca were the best days in his playing career. No doubt about that. You know, you talked about all the stars during that season, but I think he was one individual whose contribution was recognized. Like you earlier said, was a very strong, very strong, and also a very intelligent player. So you could definitely see the impact he made, even in after solid Barca team. And if you look at, you know, probably as we are going to probably see later on, if you look at, you know, the trajectory to career later took after he left Barca, you know, likely agree that his Barca days were the best days as far as his playing career is concerned. And so he made his contribution even among all of the stars that existed the Catalan club in.
Let me come to you. If you look at then, I mean, there seems to be a difference from when he moved. I mean, when he moved away from Spanish La Liga, because of course he played with the likes of played for Atletico Madrid, you know, Barca, and then before he moved now to Genoa, and then we also saw him, you know, played for Inter Milan. What is the difference? Like you said, there seems to be a drop in his career. Why is it always so? You know, when players move from such level of club, you know, from one league to the other, do you think there was a little drop in his career? Do you attribute that to age difference, the caliber of the team he played for, or what could have been the difference, or as compared to the way he played for Barca and then other of his clubs that he played for, especially those in the Serie A? Okay, it seems the Palebo is out, but we hope that he will join us. But Etim, let me come back to you with that question. So, what do you think, you know, happened between when he left Barca from Atletico Madrid down to the Italian Serie A? Was it about the league that shaped his career, or the fact that he played for minor clubs? But then you can also argue that Inter Milan, you know, is a respected club. So why was the downfall, let me so to say, in his career after he left Barca?
I do not want to go to injuries. Injuries were the major reason why he left Barca in the first. And he had that thing that led to pick up yet another injury that led him to the point of identity. Starting with Genoa. But at Genoa, I think he put up plans to, you know, put up some really decent performances for Genoa, and that is a big one that attracted the interest of Inter Milan, who are really top club, not just in the Italian Serie A, but also in European football, and also in the period or two in which he joined them, even though they had dropped off as far as European football is concerned, but was still a major powerhouse, like the team as a bit, a major powerhouse in European football. So that was exactly what Thiago Motta benefited from, because there was absolutely no doubt whatsoever about his quality. His quality was not in doubt. It's just that, unfortunately for him, you know, injury played a major part. It dropped the flow and the trajectory that his career was probably taken. It was not as soon.
And Ebas, I'm sure that Palibel has joined us now. I was actually talking about just like what Francis said. I mean, how does that shape players generally? Not about Thiago Motta now. When they move from one club to the other, it looks or from one league to the other. It looks like for some they excel. Like the case of Hazard, you know, we saw how Hazard was very glorious with Chelsea, moved to Real Madrid and became a flop. You know, so how does that changes or the change in environment shape a player like Thiago Motta?
Yeah, you look at what was it like Francis Emele highlighted. He was a player that had most of his good days in Barcelona. As a youngster coming up, playing football. He was one of those players who
Okay. We hope to get back a Palibot, but we're still looking at sports extra, sports personality here on
okay. Part of the golden generation of Barcelona. But in the movie, we didn't expect him to play how long he played. That he played till 2019, and I think that was really commendable. You look at how he was able to play at the highest level. Playing I think the number 10 role in the Italian team at the very old age. It tells you how he was able to turn his career around when he got that move to PSG. He was able to get his mood back, and I think that was really important. Getting the right place to go into, and I think going to Italy was the best decision of his career. And I think that was very, very important for him to go down there to Italy, to lay his claim and to show the Italians and to show the coaches down there that he is able, to score some goals with nice headers, still go back to the defense, to do the dirty job. So I think him going down there to Italy and players going back to their national, their league roots, I think it helps them get props to the national team.
And of course, I mean, it's lovely to get to talk about the national team now, because that area we saw how he played. Even if many would have wanted him to be like Totti, Francisco Totti, Baggio, but then let's look at his role, in
defensive and defensive contributions for the Italian national team. And as Kingsley said, even in his career when he was at PSG, he played more advanced. Even with younger, during Saturday, he played keeper role. But he grew old and was even given more responsibility offensively. And he did excel well in this role. And also, Robert Baggio. I think he was a typical Italian type of player. Very strong, very solid, and also he was a player who held his own when he was actually, in good form and in good shape. So I think he too is appreciated a lot. Probably, not as much as Totti and Baggio are, but I think his own level of respect and his own level of appreciation for the role and contribution he actually to the Italian national team playing career.
Now, one other thing that I want to come, and I will ask you this question also, Palibot will also answer before we go on a quick break. Then we'll come back to look at his managerial career. Why is it that some players feel fulfilled moving from one country or one team to the other? It is difficult. I mean, Italian players we know can stay like Mascotti, can decide to play for a club and they are die hard. They stay from that club till they are at the end of their career. We've seen players like Lampard did it with the Chelsea side. Players like Carragher did it with Liverpool. There are players who played their life in a club. Zanetti did it, did it with certain Inter Milan. So, why is it that some players like Totti, I mean, he was part of those. He was one of those players who plays for La Liga, from La Liga to Italy, from Italy, to France. I played in France, and for some, they just want to be in a place. Ronaldo, like we know, is a lover mover. These are players that move from one place to the other. What is the joy of moving, and as compared to those who decide to, stick their ground on a particular club till the end of their career?
I think I think things like that are personal decisions made by individual players. Also, we know circumstances also do play a major role. And we also cannot forget that money as well plays a major role in all of these decisions. So there are certain decisions players make that even we fans are not, aware of why such a decision is made by the individual. And we know that sometimes family, the welfare of the family of this individual player play a major role in some of the decisions they make. For example, look at individuals like Francis Totti, who spent his entire career at AS Roma when he could have had the opportunity to even go to the Real Madrid team, who basically begged for his signature during the peak of his career, and he refused. So that is down to, at least it's a personal decision that, Francesco Totti made at that point. Having been born and grew up there, spent his youth right there in Rome, and decided to represent that club for the rest of his career. Only him can explain and only him can understand why he felt that Spain was the best thing for him to do at that point in time. But like I said, the circumstances are different from others. Even for others, it's about experiencing talent in their career. So, having done something in one place, just decide to go elsewhere to experience a new challenge, to experience something different, and also try to prove themselves somewhere else. Just like we've seen in the career of Cristiano Ronaldo. He did really well in England, Manchester United. He tried to take up the challenge, going to Real Madrid to try a new experience. We know they have also done so in Italy, and he's playing to at the moment Saudi Arabia. So circumstances for these players are all the same. And like we've also seen in the water incident, injuries too have probably played a major role in the decisions he made, Probably if he was, not as injured as he was, probably you never can tell. He probably could have spent, all his life at Barca, which we obviously know joined them when, they were really getting into the peak of, football, European football at that point in time, with the star players at, at that point in time. So if the problem was not very true, you never can tell. He probably would have decided to stay there for a major part of his career. But injury played a major role in his decision to move away. So it applies differently for all players. Circumstances are different. Some players just feel comfortable there because their families are comfortable, and so they are playing and they're making their money. They make that move and try something. But for other players, even if they play well, regularly, make good money, people that are better play them to catch something different. And it's not just for footballers, even for us as individuals at various walks of life. Sometimes we always want to try something different and try a different experience. And I think that is it's not strange to also football players. The bottom line is down to circumstances, and of course, circumstances. All these players, they are not.
You also, I'm sure you also share the sentiment of Francis there.
Yeah, I also share the sentiment of Francis there, but I just want to add a little bit more. I feel like players, there are players that see things in different perspectives. For me, the first perspective is someone who sees football as a passion, someone who loves playing the game, who's dedicated to a certain side. You look at players like Stephen Gerrard, you talk about the Rossi, you talk about Francesco Totti. These are players who have invested all their time. They have passion and love for a particular club. Maybe those are their boyhood clubs, but there are another set of players who see football as you could say a business, an enterprise. They look at it as a business. There's no emotion attached to the game. That's like Carlos Tevez, who was able to play for Manchester United and Manchester City. You look at this Figo too, who played for Barcelona and Real Madrid. These are two rivals. across, the biggest teams and different teams in England and Spain, respectively. So I think players look at football in different perspectives. From the perspective of Thiago Motta, he saw football as a business. And we look at his move from England to Paris Saint-Germain. Ranieri, then coach, didn't believe that Thiago Motta would make that move. He was so confident. Came out about 3 days ago in a press conference that Thiago Motta would remain there. But Thiago Motta had a different opinion and a different perspective of what football is like. And I think that is why Thiago Motta made a lot of moves. Just that players see life and football in two divides. The other divide is that of football passion, and the other divide is that football is a business.
Okay, just to add a little to what you have said.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yes, reacting to that actually brought out. Sometimes footballers are victimized for money playing a major part in some of the choices and the decisions to make. Which sometimes it's a bit funny to me, when a football, when it's like, oh no, he choose the money. And I'm like, that is his career, that is his profession. It's like, for us in our various professions, sometimes it's about the highest bidder who pays more, and that is who we go for. And it's no exemption for most of these footballers. Obviously, the fans want to give the grade because the fans are the ones who are attached to this club, and they expect sometimes these footballers to be, emotionally attached as they are, particularly if these footballers actually grow up playing for those clubs. But at the same time, I find it funny and bit weird when footballers are criticized for having money play the major part in the decisions they make. This is a career like any other career. And apart from the fact that they are in it for the passion, obviously you don't have the passion for football. I don't think they need to educate as much important as time and sacrifice. But at the same time, they are in it to make money as well, to take care of themselves and to take care of their family. So I think footballers also consider money. That's why I say they also consider money.
Telling him not to counterpunch.
All right. Welcome back. If you just joined us, is a sports personality here on Atlantic Television Network. I still have Tim Francis and Epalebo Kingsley. And we're looking at the incredible journey of Thiago Motta and everything about him, what you need to know. Talk about his milieu and his playing career with a lot of clubs from Barcelona, Atletico Madrid in Spain, down to Genoa and Inter Milan in the Italian Serie A. Then he moved to Paris Saint-Germain, and he also had the opportunity for the Brazilian side, at the Olympic, and of course,
individuals like that do not, play as much as they would have liked, when they were asking. They tend to go into coaching, which is another form of, course, to actually fill that need that and that bond that was actually created during their playing career. So that too is a strong possibility as to why he probably herself into coaching. But apart from it, people that definitely his passion for football would have also been a major decision or a major part of the reason why he decided to go into coaching.
Now, from his coaching career with Genoa down to Spezia, and then we talk about the Bologna, where he was famed for what he did with side. Do you think that he has achieved a little in that area as compared to others?
Yes, well, in terms of being successful, his level level of success, I think, is something he can be proud of. Don't forget, he's still very much in the infancy of his coaching career. You know, he still has a lot of years left ahead of him where he can learn, and obviously he can go to complete. So particularly with a massive club like Juventus, because what he did in the past, the recent past, have landed in a massive job in a massive club like Juventus. So it's an opportunity for him to really write his name in the history of the Turin club, which is obviously one of the biggest clubs as far as European football is concerned. So has he been largely successful as a coach in the world view of what we term as a successful coach? Obviously not. But for him as an individual, I think for him as a person, he can be proud of the growth that he has seen in his coaching career over the last few years. He has put himself in a good position to actually achieve so much. So definitely, I think that Mota will be very much aware of that and will be very much focused on trying to create a name for himself in the global audience. You know, time to
do you think Thiago Motta will succeed or will be a very successful coach, knowing the pressure that comes with coaching a club like Juventus?
Therefore, I think time will tell. But looking at his prowess back there in Bologna, I think it's going to take a little more. Going to take a few steps. It's not going to be an easy task for Thiago Motta down there, you know, in Turin, where he's going to be coaching Juventus. Because you look at the crop of players that this Juventus side possesses, they have a lot of skillful players. They have beautiful players who are still learning the game. A lot of beautiful players, likes of these Elling Jr. and the rest of them. And compare it to his Bologna team, where he has mixed experience from young stars. You know, who was also a former Juventus player, came down there for playing time, and you know, now he's one of the most sought after strikers currently. He failed move to Nottingham Forest, gets back to Italy and gets into the Thiago Motta's team. Luis Ferdinand also, you look at the young player from Scotland who is just trying to blend into the Italian game. So you look at Thiago Motta, is a coach who is able, you know, to bring players who are low confidence, who has not really been doing well in their career, who have a pedigree of well with players who have been struggling, bring them back to the best position. So you look at these Juventus players who have qualities, the likes of Dusan Vlahovic. When he was down there in Fiorentina, we knew what Dusan Vlahovic could do, but coming down to Juventus, not proving himself, that has been a problem for him. So I think that Thiago Motta will do well in this Juventus side. It is to do with looking at his style. The first part of defense is from the attack. Exactly is the first defense, and the first form.
Okay, we hope to get back to Palebo, but what are the priorities? Time is up, but quickly, Francis, what are the priorities for
the goalkeeper? So I think you look at it as a different way of thinking about football and pattern.
Okay, so I was asking Francis lastly, what like he said, like Palebo said rightly too. What do you think should be
get back on top? And one of the reasons why their immediate past coach Mark Allegri was actually started despite winning the Coppa Italia for them against Atalanta and the just concluded season was down to his style of play. So basically, you know, Juventus fans bought with the style of play as he actually executed. It's seemingly and a lot of fluent, attacking style. And so the Juventus fans will be hoping to have that few good from back, you know, at the club.
Okay, I appreciate your presence on the show today. Our time is up, but hopefully next week we shall preview a man who has seen it all in football, you know, played at the highest level and also became a manager and we'll get to see as the season, comes close, as the transfers and all that. We hope to bring you more what he has to do. But next season, all eyes will be have a lovely Saturday and of course weekend. This is why we call it the wrap here on Atlantic Personality.
Telling him not to counterpunch.